Good evening, everybody. It's your boy, Big Country. So, haven't talked to you guys in like a week and a half. I know it's been a while. Went home for some home time, got some stuff done, um, spent some time with the family and that sort of thing. So, a lot has happened since the last time I talked to everybody. The last time I talked to everybody, I was at Hirschbach. Um, I'd been there for a while, doing Tyson dedicated. Well, it is Sunday night, and I am in a hotel in Normal, Illinois. Um, so I'll explain what happened. I hope you got a minute. So, what happened was, and when I say this, I can only speak for my own personal experience. I'm sure there's drivers at Hirschbach that have a great experience, love their job, love everything about Hirschbach. That's great. So let me go backwards here. So I was at Hirschbach last year. I left to go home to take care of some medical issues and some other things. Well, when I was ready to go back in a truck, I came back to Hirschbach. This was in February of this year. So when I came back, Tyson dedicated. At the time, it was $13.50 guarantee. It went up $100 to $14.50. Everything was great for like the first 2 months. Then that's when the problem started. Probably in about April-ish, there was an issue with my pay. I was having things. When I get a settlement, guys, when you work in trucking, when you get a settlement or you get your paycheck, if you're a company driver, you look through that line by line to make sure nothing was missed. And that was the thing. There was issues. I was missing money, and that's when all the problems started. So I went almost a month and a half without the issues with my pay rectified. So at this point, we were into May, middle of May. Um, so with that being said, I try to give them benefit of the doubt because, in a company the size of Hirschbach, it really concerns me, and I don't understand why they only have like 5 people that work in settlements. That's what I was told, and maybe that's why they can't seem to pay people correctly. Yeah. So, fast forward about 3 weeks, there was another issue with my pay. I expressed more concern over this. They said, "Oh, well, we'll take care of it. We'll fix it." Which every time there was an issue with pay, I will give them this: they fixed it. They did, and they fixed it pretty quick. So we'll go ahead and fast forward to recently. So I was out on the road for almost 5 weeks. I came home to do my home time. When I the reason why I made the decision to come home is because 2 weeks ago I got my settlement and I was charged for fuel in a hotel that I should not have been charged for. That is not a problem on my end. That's due to incompetence on the other end. People not communicating with people. I don't know what the deal is with them, but that's why. So when I figured out that I only got paid like $33 that week, I called and said, "I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm gonna take my home time. I'm going home." Um, so they were when I asked them to rectify the problem, it really felt like I got the runaround. And finally, I just gave him an ultimatum. I said, this needs to be fixed before the end of the day today. This was on a Friday, or I'm going to start making phone calls. It's just how it's going to be. It was rectified. I went on home time. That this past Thursday, I got my settlement. And this is the reason why I finally made the decision to leave. I got my settlement and I had $2,000 in advances. I am on a 1450 guarantee. I took my home time as I was supposed to, had the stored home time, should have received my guarantee. Now, granted, I'll give him this. I did have $1,000 in advances because I ended up taking two. So every week I would take out an advance of 500, and then I get the rest on my check that Friday. Well, because I was on home time, they took out all in one settlement. That's fine. I expected that, but I expected to at least get $400 or so. I was negative 400 and some 70 some odd dollars. So, and it said that I had $2,000 in advances, which is not the case. It just isn't. Um, so that was my determining factor on why I left Hirschbach. Um, so that in a nutshell is why I left. Um, so here's my honest review of Hirschbach. Um, my driver manager, her name was Katerina. One of the greatest driver managers I've had in 10 years of driving a truck. Probably the best driver manager I've ever had. Never got short with me. Never thought any question was too stupid. Always answered the phone. Always followed up. Great driver manager. Now, as far as everybody else is concerned, um, the shops at Hirschbach are horrendous. The company shops, I in my time at Hirschbach, I had been to Kansas City, Joliet, Dubuque, and Monmouth, which I'm pretty sure Monmouth does not exist anymore. I think they closed that. Um, I will tell you that from what I've seen, their mechanics don't know how to do their job. They're all poorly trained. The communication is terrible. Um, about 3 weeks before home time, I went to our shop in Monmouth. Um, had a vibration issue I told them about that I was concerned about. They wanted to do my B service and check the vibration. So I went and stayed in a hotel at night. I come back to a truck that had tons of sensors going off because they were unplugged. I came back to a truck that the steer tire was sitting on the rim because the tire was flat. And they did not fix the vibration. They never did. In the truck that I received in March, it had a vibration since the day I got it, and it was never fixed. It was never corrected. So their shops are terrible. The other thing is the, with the exception of a couple folks, it is useless to try to get any communication, uh, anything taken care of correctly with nights or weekends. Now, there's exceptions to those rules. There was a couple decent night shift dispatchers that were able to help me when I needed help. But for the most part, it was quite lacking, which is a concern because, as we all know in Reefer, you do a lot of night driving, so you need them to be on their A game, and they were not. Any concerns or issues I had with the company that were brought to the attention of the operations manager, I was felt like I needed to cut people slack, and that I needed to, understand. Like the comment was made to me, we're all human, we all make mistakes. I'm sorry. Your company expects me to deliver on time every time, to pick up on time every time. So if I'm going to be held to that standard, I'm going to hold everybody else to that standard. It's just that simple. Um, I don't need excuses. I need results. So yeah, so that in a nutshell. Now again, the pros were my DM, greatest one I've ever had. I stayed moving for the most part. If you do decide to go do Tyson dedicated with Hirschbach, know that yeah, you can make more than the 1450. You can, but in my personal experience, they give you enough to keep you at that guarantee. You don't make any more. Um, it may be different for other people, but that I'm just talking from my experience. So 1450 is about all I ever got. Um, so yeah, so that's my review of them in a nutshell. We are moving on because in trucking, you gotta have a job, right? So again, I said I'm here in Normal, Illinois tonight. It's Sunday night. Just got done eating dinner. So I had two options. It was either New Spam Transportation in Normal, Illinois, or to go work for Tyson directly as a driver. Um, I've decided to go with New Spam and give them a try, to see what they're all about. They seem like a pretty decent company. They have very minimal turnover. I think when I looked online, I think their main turnover, their turnover, the highest is like 35%, which in this industry isn't terrible. There's a lot of bigger companies out there that have a lot higher turnover. Um, so, anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. That's the update. Um, if you have any questions about Hirschbach, feel free to reach out to me. And I'll try to help you out as much as I can. But we are moving on down the road. Um, so yeah, we start News Mom tomorrow. Um, I think the orientation is going to go for about 4 days. I'll give a daily review of orientation, um, and kind of what you can expect in orientation here. Because really, when I looked at videos on YouTube of what was in orientation, I mean there was like one that I found. So if I can post one and kind of give my honest review of orientation every day, then that's what I'll try to do. So guys, sorry it was a longer video than usual. I hope everybody had a great weekend. As always, be happy, be healthy, and be successful. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.